Well, this is what we got after we finished squeezing the cane. 3.5, 4 gallons of juice, I guess you could call it. Yes, it's green. It comes out green. If you let the cane set, you'll get less juice, but it'll be maybe a caramel color or yellow color. I don't usually let it set because it's easier to mash when it's fresh. When the cane's still green, you can mash it easier. My little press, I try to make sure I do everything I can to not stress it too much. But I've got a little bit of this already in the pan I'm going to show you here in a minute. I'm just going to let you get a good look at it. So this is what I got in the pan. There's about a gallon in there. I start out with a small amount since I'm cooking it in the house. If you cooked it all at once, if I could heat that pot up and cook it all at once, it would get thick before it got brown. So you start out with a smaller amount in a pan and you cook it down, and it'll get a little more darker color. It'll start turning a light brown color. As it cooks down and gets thick, you add more green juice. Cook it down, it'll get a little darker each time. That's how I get my color in the house. I can't heat a 4-gallon pot of it too easy, but I can heat a smaller pot. So I've done this. I'm going to do this several times and eventually get a good thick dark caramel color, but you are caramelizing it basically. It's kind of like doing sugar candy or jelly. You also got to dig the foam off the top. This video won't have that in it. You got to skim the top, clean the junk out occasionally. When it does get thick, you've got to watch the temperature really close. My gauge, I was going to tell you what the temperature was, but my gauge wasn't right. As I was making the video, I started stirring it with a spoon and checking to see how thick it was, and it was getting thick quick and the gauge wasn't rising. So I'll show the gauge here in a minute. I'm watching the gauge while I'm talking on the video, and I realized that something wasn't quite right about it because the temperature didn't go up like it should have. But we're making good stuff. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. And alright, we've got it cooked down. This is the final pot. You can see it's good and dark. It's bubbling good. Might have been a little hot when I was doing it, but I didn't scorch it. I showed you the gauge. The gauge wasn't right. I'll show you another way of doing it. You'll see me stir with a spoon, pick it up. You're looking for the certain drops on the spoon. If you hold it up and it all runs into one spot, it's getting pretty thick. You need to be quitting. If you see a couple of drops going, you're probably at a good syrup. Like that right there, I think that's pretty close. Now, I've seen this done too. You drop it in water, it instantly turns to a solid. You can see what you got. And I realized when I dropped it in the water, I let it go too far. I'm going to have a really thick sorghum. But to finish the video off, I've cut the temperature. Now stir it a little bit, and we're going to jar it up. It made a couple of pint jars. It didn't make what I really wanted it to. The cane wasn't as good as it should have been. Dry, hot weather just really didn't make it grow like it should. What I grew in them 4 rows should have made 3/4 of a gallon, not a quart. Should have made 3 times as much, but you get what you get. And it's still going to be good stuff. It's going to be thick in the jar, but I've tried some of it. It's really good stuff. I'm going to show you here at the end my jars. I got a little over 2 pints. Got a little over a quart. I'll show you a couple of pint jars here at the end. Thanks for watching.